Boom, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the show. If you're brand new to the show, we appreciate you coming through. If you've already been here with us, we appreciate you coming back for another round of BombCast. Basically, everything that you possibly need to know today. In your face news. And that's basically about it, people. Anyways, my lord, it is Wednesday, the 16th of April. And I am like jam packed. We're gonna have like a full probably 30 minutes of just absolutely crazy things that we have to talk about. So before my blood pressure probably goes a little bit higher. Your boy made it out alive. Oh my gosh. A day, probably about a day and a half without electricity. It was tough, but we made it out. If you need a power bank, shout outs to Pocket Juice. I think that's probably one of the best power banks money can buy. For like 20 bucks, you can probably get everything that you possibly need. Uh, I've charged my phone probably about 3, 4 times, and another power bank once, so it was pretty good. Out of the box, it was like 60% uh, charged, so it did well. It did fantastic. So shout outs to I think it's called Pocket Juice. Pocket Juice. It's like a power bank on straight roids. Anyways, that's basically about it. Your boy made it out without any hectic problems or anything like that. Almost to the weekend, 2 more days, and we should be good to go. My dear Lord. So, off the rip, we're going to talk about China possibly crippling Britain. This is like an ongoing situation. China may have checkmated Britain by making it lose around $900 a day. $900 a day, while absolutely ruining their infrastructure. I don't know if you've heard about it, but long story short, China owns, I think, British steel. And that's a big fucking deal. That's a big deal because let's say hypothetically, like it's actually happening though, a country buys your business, right? Of steel production. Number one, you need steel to live. Number two, you need steel to defend your country. Number three, you need it for your buildings and things of that nature. So you just need this type of industry, right? Long story short, China bought British steel. And last but not least, it looks like China basically said, we're going to shut it down. And they basically are shutting or trying to shut down British steel as we fucking speak, which is huge news because if this goes through, chances are it's going to be a crippler. It's going to be a crippler because they won't have an industry unless they basically monopolize or make it government owned or something. They're going to get ruined. Their whole infrastructure is going to get ruined. And I don't know how the heck that happened, but it's been happening, and it's not just in England. It's been happening in the U.S. Obviously, China has been going on a flippin' purchasing spree, a buying spree here and there. The majority of the stuff is already made in China, so it's like it's not even made in the U.S. And on top of that, they're buying out like these huge, manufacturing plants. They're buying huge brands. The GE or General Electric brand is under Chinese ownership. For last what I basically saw. I mean, I think they're under Chinese ownership, Chinese leadership, and that's huge. In the world today, because I mean, they make basically everything. GE makes like appliances. GE creates like healthcare solutions, all types of stuff, and I think China has bought out, GE. So that's huge news. Britain has to do something as soon as possible because if they don't, this is going to be like the open wound effect. There's going to be big problems if they don't fucking nip that in the bud and do something about it. It's like a bleeding open wound. It's no good. So yeah, they own the biggest steel mill in England, and is going to get worse and worse after that. So let's see what we got. Another huge thing I want to talk about. Basically, the deportations of supposed illegals, immigrants. Well, it's probably going to be coming to a much closer place of interest, and it might be you. You, yes, you heard right. You might be the next person getting deported. And where, you might ask? Who the fuck knows? Number one. Number two, you might be going to El Salvador. You might be going to El Salvador. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm not making it up. I mean, that would be even more phenomenal, probably, if I was totally lying about this. But seemingly, the El Salvador president or prime minister or what have you went to the U.S., the Oval Office or something like that, and they had their little meeting. And long story short, Trump's what is it like? You call it like a hot mic or something? Like when you're talking shit and you don't even know what the fuck is going. So basically, that's what the fuck happened. And long story short, he said to either like the El Salvador president or prime minister that he needs to create more prisons because there might be some sort of need for like citizens or things of that nature. He was basically insinuating that the U.S. citizens might be the next to be booted out of America. That's fucking crazy. That is absolutely insane. And wow, what the fuck, right? So you or I might be going to get deported to El Salvador, uh, you know, in the coming months, in the coming years, and things of that nature. Absolutely crazy. Check out the story. It's kind of crazy. Absolutely flipping insane. So yeah, check that out because I was fucking horrified to see that. I was like, what? So we might be prisoners in El Salvador if if number one we don't behave properly, and also dot dot dot, right? Next on the list, I want to talk about Deshawn Leeth. Now, I'm probably going to take a pretty hot moment in this topic because it really, it kind of got to me. I mean, I don't know what the heck happened, but it kind of got to me, and I was like, what the hell? So, long story short, if you don't know Deshaun Leith, God rest his soul and God bless him and all that. He has passed away seemingly by a police inflicted gunshot wound. Now, you have to basically look into this and have a open mind, not that open, but open enough to kind of differentiate what the if you think might be going on. And that is totally your opinion, and you are most certainly entitled to that, right? If somebody tells you otherwise, well, you might have to question them. Don't be violent about it. Be a gentleman or a lady about it, right? But you have to look. I'm just telling you, you have to look into what's going on and see what's going on in their happenings so you can understand and make a more feasible, introduction into what you think might be that. But anyways, Deshawn Leith. Deshawn Leith, seemingly he was a convicted felon, right? There were supposedly like nine home burglaries or assaults or something along those lines. And so, long story short, he got in big, big trouble with the law. It was huge for Deshaun Leith, but long story short, it looked like he was going to turn a new leaf and basically start doing the right thing, right? He started a nonprofit, which I'm going to look up, which he basically kind of went into a rant about shortly before he passed away, which we'll get into a little bit more into that. But let me see what the nonprofit is called. But yeah, it's tough. It's called Underdog Nation, right? Underdog Nation founder Deshaun Leith, seemingly the youngest of five in Detroit, Michigan. And this basically transforming, kids into more feasible people. Now, it's kind of ironic of what the heck happened, and you can be one of those people as well, because you can play both sides, right? But long story short, there was a accident. There was supposedly an accident. You can check out the video. It should be on YouTube. And it's like a Deshaun Leith, police video or something like that, like dash cam or body cam or something along like that. So basically, the video goes into, a cop body cam or, dash cam, and he's, doing his patrols just like that, right? That's how they drive. I don't know. And long story short, there was a guy that basically flagged down this cop. And long story short, he's like, what the heck is going on? Why are you flagging me down, acting like a nut job? So I thought right then, now this guy was going to flip the fuck out, right? So he was the problematic guy. No, it wasn't. So this guy, he was like basically a bystander or passerby or something like that, a trucker. He says there's something happened up there. There was a flipped vehicle. There's some sort of accident. Please go check it out, right? So the guy goes. He sees Deshaun Leith, right? And he tries to flag him down, and he basically is ranting about Jesus. I mean, it's not funny because I mean it's crazy. It is absolutely freaking psychotic, and he was talking about Jesus, like off the chain. And I don't know if our guy was under the influence of something. I'm guessing there must have been something like that. I don't know if they've done the toxicology, but I'm gonna guess maybe meth or crack. I mean, and it may have been something else, but it may have been something like that. But our guy was freaking wired for Jesus. So he basically gets to the cop and starts, calling him a bitch and like trying to hurt the cop, right? And they start fist fighting. And this cop, sounds like some uh judoku mini practitioner. He's doing the hayas with the yelling and the breathing like no other. It's like you have to watch this thing. And he gets Deshaun Leaf with like a right blow, which sends him to the ground, right? And you might think this might be it, right? This might be it. No, it gets fucking crazier. So they tussle probably about 20 to 30 seconds. And I mean they're going at it. And this cop, I mean, he's an old bastard, but he can do the high still. And he's getting kind of the upper hand on Deshaun Leith. Now, this is kind of comical, but it's really not. Because obviously this guy had some sort of problems, right? So long story short, the body cam, of course, magnificently goes flying off. It's like all the good stuff, it's like the body cam fucking always goes somewhere, right? And next thing you know, supposedly this guy kind of, comes over. He's like, hey man, don't do it, man. I don't want to see you shot, man, and stuff like that. And Deshawn gets in the cruiser, the police cruiser, and he fucking steals this cop's cruiser, and he starts bolting, right? He starts bolting down the highway, and mind you, while they're fighting, right, he's talking about Jesus, and you better bow down to Jesus and all. It's crazy. It's like the most psychotic rants that I've ever witnessed on, like, YouTube or anything like that. So long story short, he's in the cruiser, stealing the cruiser on the flipping highway, going like probably 80, 90 miles per hour, absolutely going crazy. And he's talking about Jesus. And if you're not about Jesus, well, you need to be rebuked and stuff like that. It's scary. And you can feel that this guy is not well, right? And it kind of got to me because it's like, man, this guy really is fucked up. You know what I mean? It's like this guy is fucked up. And so he goes probably for about 10 minutes, going on from like a Jesus rant. He talked about his uh, uh, not the GoFundMe, but what is it, like one of those nonprofits? He talks about that, all the great people that he met. And then he started going a little bit darker into like some sort of like Trump thing. It's it's always about like some sort of weird fucking conspiracy shit going on. And long story short, when he starts yakking about that, they like swipe this guy, right? And they do like a pit maneuver on the cruiser. And this guy, like the car flips again. The car fucking flips. You can see the dash cam, like the gravel's coming up and like the dirt's coming up. And this guy keeps on talking about Jesus. And gosh, it was crazy, dude. It was flipping insane. And this guy keeps talking about Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And long story short, the video on that particular one cuts off when they drag him out of that cruiser. Now, shortly after that, there's supposedly like some sort of bystander that videotapes them shooting this guy basically at point blank. And he, succumbs to his injuries and things of that nature, and that's basically it. But I just wanted to I'm not having like any sort of side other than I hope this guy gets some sort of like vindication, because that video, kind of opened my eyes about like, a mental diseases, obviously problems, psychological problems, mental diseases, and obviously, well, I wouldn't say obviously, maybe drug abuse, right? Because I don't know if most people, just joking, can be that belligerent about Jesus. Just kidding. They might be able to be that belligerent about Jesus, but there was something going on. And I felt horrific. I mean, I felt horrific watching this because, it was this poor guy that obviously needed lots and lots of fucking help, and nobody could have fucking helped him. Hopefully he has some sort of redemption. Hopefully he has some sort of vindication towards that because it was tough to watch. And I've watched a lot of fucked up shit. Not really, but I've watched a lot of like crazy stuff. And this could probably be one of the top 5 to 10, absolutely crazy. The only one that could have probably rivaled that one was when some meth head Some lady stole a police cruiser and she was whizzing down 120 miles per hour and hits a fucking truck head on, and kills herself and the whole fucking family in that truck. I mean, you should have seen that. I mean, it was like 120 and then like 70, 80, and they hit like head on. And it was just absolutely nothing there. It was just total obliteration. And it's tough to watch, man, because obviously a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff, and you don't know what the heck they're going through. But it's sad, man. So if you have, people like that, talk to those people, right? Talk to those people, see if they need anything, offer them some sort of helping hand, just be like, hey, man, hey, sis, I mean, are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need anything? And just be a human being, right? Just be a human being, and just reach out and say, are you okay? Are you okay? Because you don't know what the fuck they're going through. And I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough to watch, it's kind of comical at times, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, oof, it's tough to watch. But anyways, that's basically about it. Check out Deshawn Leeth, and things of that nature. And I'm not trying to paint this guy into some sort of, saint or anything like that, because he's probably the most, I wouldn't say the most, but probably one of the people that's far from being a saint. Even though he's preaching about Jesus and all of that, he's probably far, far, far from a saint. But it just opens up people's eyes that people have problems, and, they need to be looked into, right? Before it's too late. Your loved ones, your family, your friends, and stuff like that, right? But yeah, I mean, on the other side, it's like this guy was probably zooted out of his ass, out of his mind, and they may have had to, they tried, but it is what it is. It's just tough to see. It's tough to watch, and you don't want really all too much stuff like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, you might have to do something along those lines. If they put, other people, innocent people, right, in harm's way, right? I mean, we're not talking about it's like a self-inflicting type thing. We're talking about you're on a highway. Can you imagine you're with your family and this guy possibly like on smack or crank or something just hits the living fuck out of you and kills you just like that, right? So it's like there's different sides to that. But anyways, still shout outs to his loved ones and things of that nature. It's just tough to watch that. But it sadly enough, it's not the only situation like that. There have been lots of them, and it just sucks to see that it had to go down like that. But anyways, check it out. Check out the video. Let us know what the heck you think about Deshaun Leith. If they were in the right, if they were in the wrong. People need to talk. People need to start, expressing themselves about how they feel and things of that nature. But yeah, it was tough to watch. Hopefully he was right with Jesus, right? And hopefully he was good with everything. And hopefully he's gone somewhere better and all that. But yeah. Anyways, that was basically about that. I think I watched that like a day or two ago, and it just wow. It's not a new story. It's most certainly not a new story. It's been I think since like the 4th of April, and it just I finally got around to it, and it was just like, man, that is tough, man. That is really fucking tough. But anyway, that's about that. Whew, 24 plus minutes in, about to be 25. I feel better after that. Uh, you know, and hopefully everybody can like open their eyes and be like, hey, are you okay? Yada yada yada. Uh, you know, because people need help, man, and you never know. You never fucking know, and that's just the way it is. Anyways, last but not least, China struck back. Well, I think I got a couple more segments I want to yak about. China strikes back. China strikes back and calls the U.S. citizens peasant themselves. Boom! Take that, bastards. Well, thank you so much. Oh my god. The flying pins. China said, fuck you, fuck that, and called the U.S. citizens peasants themselves. Like, eat a fat dick, and how about those tariffs, bitch? And that's basically what they did. My dear Lord, they struck back. All hell is still breaking loose without any feasible answers. And that is tough. But you know what? Life must go on. Wow. But shout outs to them for, hitting us back with the peasant thing. I mean, it was kind of tough to watch, the whole, who was it? Vance calling the Chinese peasants. Ooh, that's tough. But anyways, that's basically about that. Trump calls Zelensky basically an idiot for supposedly starting that war with a country, quote unquote, 20 times the size of Ukraine. He's talking about Russia, about how Russia is basically 20 times the size of Ukraine. And the only thing he can do is basically pray and ask for missiles to be given to him so he can protect himself. So I'm guessing probably that the U.S. will be exiting Project Ukraine or whatever the heck they're talking about. That because there is obviously not a lot of love lost or love made with Zelensky and the Ukrainian, whatever the heck. And it's going to be a big fucking problem. They seemingly came out that the horrific Palm Sunday bombing, which it was, because obviously there may have been some sort of innocent, lives that were lost. It may have been a military, not parade, but some sort of party where they were having some sort of military dinner or something along those lines. And 30 or so people lost their lives, some being innocent, like children and women and things of that nature. So, it's tough. It is really, really tough. It's sad to see. And I applaud the people for complaining about the innocent lives lost, but we're still waiting on that fantastic answer of, well, what about Israel? What about Palestine? What about the Palestinians? What about the Israelis? And things of that nature. So, what about the Yemen people? What about other people like the Lebanese? What about everybody else, right? But nonetheless, that's how it goes. Anyways, my lord, Wednesday, you fulfill me, kind of, buddy. I mean, that was kind of a fatty. Today was kind of a fatty. You know, I can't complain about that all too much. I had a blast. 2 more days, and I'm gonna have a flippin' even bigger blast. But yeah, I've been relaxing, and things of that nature. I feel pretty good. I gotta see what the heck is going on in the world today. I'm glad I got to the Wednesday shtick. I was thinking to myself, oh my lord, I might not make it, but we made it. Like, subscribe, dislike, comment, do something for things that you probably need to know about. In your face, kicking the ass, kicking the nuts, we're getting it. Anyways, 30 plus minutes in, and that's basically about it, people. Like, subscribe, dislike, comment. Until next time, adios, amigos.